Researchers on an extraordinary mission to find a piece of American military history lost deep in the South Pacific.
In the endless silence of the Pacific Ocean, 17,500 feet below the waves, a deep-sea drone finally found what generations of historians, explorers, and sailors had searched for.
They have found something down there. The question is it what they're looking for?
The wreckage of the USS Hornet. The discovery sent a chill through the team aboard the research vessel as cameras lit up a world untouched for more than 70 years.
USS Hornet, 77 years after it sank to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean.
What they saw was not just metal and debris, it was memory, tragedy, and a ghostly reminder of a war that had reshaped the world. The USS Hornet had been the pride of the United States Navy, a floating fortress that carried the weight of America's hope in the dark early months of World War II. Commissioned in 1941, she had already made history before meeting her end. In April 1942, under the command of Captain Mark A. Mitcher, launched 16 B-25 bombers were launched toward Tokyo in the daring Doolittle raid, a mission meant to strike back after Pearl Harbor. The raid did little physical damage, but it sent a message heard around the world. Japan was not untouchable. From that moment, the Hornet became both hero and target. She fought through the chaos of the Pacific, taking part in the Battle of Midway, where American pilots crippled Japan's carrier fleet. Her decks became a symbol of defiance, a place where courage was tested daily. Cruz worked in heat and smoke, launching aircraft into skies filled with enemy fire. But even legends have limits. By October 1942, the Hornet sailed into her final fight near the Solomon Islands, in what would become the Battle of Santa Cruz Islands. Intelligence warned that a massive Japanese fleet was on the move, but the Americans pressed forward. The Hornet, alongside her sister carriers, carried the fate of the Pacific on her decks. At dawn on October 26th, the sky erupted. Japanese bombers descended through the clouds in waves, screaming toward the American formation. Anti-aircraft guns thundered as tracers streaked across the horizon. Witnesses later said the sky itself seemed on fire. The Hornet's gunners fired until their barrels glowed, but the enemy kept coming. Bombs tore through the air, and one hit near the island structure, igniting the hangar deck and sending flames racing through compartments below. Another explosion ripped open the starboard side, killing power across the ship. Torpedoes followed, shaking the 800-foot carrier like a toy in a storm. Even as chaos swallowed them, the crew refused to surrender. Damage control teams fought fires, dragging hoses through smoke-filled corridors. Pilots who had launched earlier were told to divert to other carriers. The Hornet's flight deck was no longer usable. For hours, she drifted, her engines dead, her hull listing. Nearby destroyers tried to tow her away, but Japanese aircraft returned for the kill. Bomb after bomb rained down. Finally, Admiral William F. Halsey gave the order to abandon ship. 2,200 men went into the water, while the Hornet burned behind them. Over 140 never came back. That night, the Americans, unable to sink her themselves, withdrew under threat of more attacks. Japanese destroyers returned and fired the torpedoes that ended her life. The Hornet slipped beneath the waves and disappeared. For decades, the ocean kept its secret. The coordinates were written down, but currents, storms, and shifting plates buried any clue of her exact grave. Historians scoured war logs and Japanese after-action reports, chasing fragments of information. None could find her. How could a warship the size of a city block simply vanish? It was as if the sea itself had chosen to guard her story. By the early 2000s, new technology gave hope. Sonar mapping had advanced, and deep-sea drones could now reach depths once thought impossible. The search was revived aboard the RV Petrel, a research vessel funded by Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen, whose fascination with lost warships had already led to major discoveries. His team of historians, engineers, and oceanographers combed through declassified archives and satellite data until they narrowed the search to a stretch of seabed near the Solomon Islands. Even then, the area was enormous, thousands of square miles. They sent out an autonomous sonar drone that scanned the dark with sound waves, painting the sea floor in ghostly images. After weeks of mapping, one reading stopped everyone cold. A massive, symmetrical shape lay half buried in sediment. It wasn't rock. The size, the outline, it could only be a ship. The team prepared the remotely operated vehicle, a robotic sub fitted with cameras, lights, and manipulator arms to descend into the abyss. It took 2.5 hours to reach the bottom. The pressure there was crushing, nearly 8,000 pounds per square inch. In that black silence, the ROV's lights cut through nothingness until they touched something solid. Out of the gloom emerged the outline of a hull. Then letters, CV-8, the Hornet. After 77 years, the lost carrier had been found. She stood upright, tilted slightly to port, her massive form resting like a sleeping giant. The steel was scarred but whole, her profile unmistakable. The flight deck was broken in places, yet much remained intact. The island tower still rose above the deck, its windows dark with silt. Inside the hangar bays lay twisted equipment and collapsed walls. The cameras moved slowly, revealing snapshots of a world frozen in its final moments. A rusted jacket hanging from a lever, a toothbrush half buried in sand, tools scattered as if waiting for hands that would never return. Some crew members watching from the Petrel's control room went silent as the cameras drifted deeper. There were whispers that a few of the images captured human remains, skeletal outlines resting where men once stood their posts. The footage was handled with quiet reverence. Later releases edited those moments out. Respect came before spectacle. The ROV explored for hours, sweeping the length of the flight deck. Anti-aircraft guns still pointed skyward, their barrels unmoved since the battle. Parts of planes lay nearby, propellers, landing gear, fragments of wings. The floodlights revealed the eerie beauty of the wreck, a time capsule sealed in darkness. Then the drone approached the stern, and something caught the light, a bent flagpole still attached to its base. Tangled around it was a piece of cloth, pale and torn, rippling gently in the current. Footage showed a cloth fragment with alternating light-dark bands, interpreted by some as a flag remnant from wartime operations. It appeared to be flag fabric. Many believed it was part of the Hornet's battle flag, the same one that had flown over the deck during the Doolittle raid. For those watching, that moment broke the silence. The flag, even in tatters, symbolized endurance. The ocean had taken the ship, but not her spirit. The Petrel's director addressed his crew afterward, reminding them that they hadn't just found a ship, they had returned voices to the men who'd vanished with her. Every bolt, every piece of steel was a story rediscovered. Over the following weeks, the footage was catalogued and reviewed by naval historians and the US Navy. Only a fraction of the recordings were ever made public. Most remained sealed, archived in high-security storage. The Navy confirmed the wreck's identity, but kept its exact coordinates secret. The site was declared a war grave, a final resting place that would never be disturbed. When news of the discovery broke in early 2019, it sent ripples across the world. For surviving veterans, men now in their 90s, it was a flood of memories. In private screenings, some wept as they watched the camera glide over the ship's nameplate, the same letters they had once walked past every day. Families of the fallen received letters acknowledging that the resting place of their loved ones had finally been found. For many, it was the first closure since 1942. The Hornet's rediscovery reignited fascination with her wartime legacy. Documentaries revisited her daring raids and decisive battles. Historians reminded the world that she had carried hope across the Pacific when that hope was almost gone. Yet beneath the celebration, experts debated what the wreck revealed. Some argued the damage pattern suggested the ship was already breaking apart before the final torpedo struck, challenging long-held reports that she was scuttled only after enemy fire. Others insisted the official record stood. The truth, like the ship herself, remains buried in the depths. For Paul Allen's team, Discovery was the ultimate tribute to the power of technology and persistence. Before his death, Allen had often said that finding lost history was about more than machines. It was about remembrance. Through the Petrel, that dream lived on. Thousands of high-resolution images and hours of 4K footage were given to the Navy and the Smithsonian, so future generations could study the Hornet without disturbing her peace. The wreck sits upright on the sea floor, her bow facing northeast, surrounded by scattered relics of the past. Tools, helmets, bits of uniform, silent reminders of life abruptly halted. The water around her is cold, still, and eternal. Down there, time doesn't move. The Hornet remains locked in the moment she died, untouched by decay, guarded by the weight of the ocean itself. What the deep sea drone uncovered was not just a ship, it was a story of courage, sacrifice, and memory preserved by pressure and darkness. The discovery reminded the world that history never truly disappears. It waits, patiently, in the depths, until someone brave enough shines a light on it again. And as the cameras on the Petrel captured those final images of the flag fragment drifting gently above the wreck, one thought echoed through everyone who saw it. The Hornet may have sunk, but her spirit still stands a watch beneath the waves, defiant, unforgotten, and alive in the silence of the sea.